Welcome back to the I Don't Want a Divorce podcast. Today's topic is, there is no love or intimacy possible with an abuser. My current podcast series is based on my new Moody Publishers book, Enough is Enough. Now I self-published this book because no Christian publisher wanted it, and who needs Christian publishers anyway? But Moody has taken the book, did a great job with the editing, it's expanded, it is improved. I think that it's just the right book for you if you're in an abusive relationship or know someone who is. It's time to get ready to get away from your abuser, and in this book, I'll show you exactly how to do that. I define abuse. I make it clear what the Bible says about abuse, how God is not only okay with you leaving your abuser, He wants you to leave your abuser, and then exactly how to do it. I spend very little time on the motivations and why your abuser is the way he is. Who cares? All right? That's going to be his problem. If he wants to change, get away from him. And I'll show you how to do that. The book is available on my website, davideclarkephd.com. That's Clarke with an E. And frankly, wherever books are sold. I also want you to know that on my website, my brand new video series is available. And the title of that is Dr. David E. Clarke Teaches Counseling. I've been at this 35 years. All right? I started in Dallas. I went to Pennsylvania. I've been here in Florida now for 35 years, counseling individuals and couples and families. So I have a lot of knowledge and I want to share it with you. And that's what this video series is for. And it's designed for every type of counselor. Pastors, ministry leaders, professional counselors, non-professional counselors, lay counselors. If you're called to counsel, the series is for you. Now go to my site, davideclarkephd.com, to watch the free introductory video. And you can make a decision if you want to buy the package. Now, today's topic. The woman sat in my office and confessed the truth about her marriage. Dr. Clarke, she said, it hurts so badly because it's my husband doing these things to me. I've given my life to him and my future. We have children together. I love him. I've heard these words a lot from, of course, ladies. I want desperately, she said, for my marriage to work and for us to be close. Of course, that's the desire of every woman's heart. He can be great at times, she said, loving, caring, generous, even romantic, but only at times. Unpredictably, he'll switch and turn into the abusive person. Everyone outside our home loves him and thinks he's a wonderful person. Boy, I've heard that a million times. Out there in the world, he's loved. Loved at church, loved in the neighborhood. They don't see what I see, she says. You're not kidding, they don't. They don't know him as I know him. It's the classic double life. In your home, different story. That's why when you start telling people the truth, if they're not close to you, they'll think you're lying because that can't be true of Bob. Bob's wonderful. No, he's not. Bob's a monster. So many times he'll start to change. He'll be nicer. This is her talking to me still. He'll be nicer. He'll do and say things that make me think maybe he's changing. But he always quits and goes back to his old abusive, cruel self. My hopes are crushed. This is a cycle that goes over and over. She says, I want intimacy so badly, but we've never really had it. Not on any consistent basis. Even in the good times, and there aren't many, we're not connected on a deep level. His abuse kills any chance for real intimacy. Boy, you're not kidding me. She says, I'm not just unhappy, although I am unhappy in this marriage, of course. It's worse than that. I'm miserable. And that's a good word to use, miserable. She says, I'm in pain most of the time. It's a special form of torture. It's an awful way to live. I have to admit that what I'm doing isn't working. And she tried, like many women, everything she could. Seeing the pastor, no help. Marriage counseling, which is a waste of time. No, that didn't help. Read this marriage book. Unless it's this book, Enough is Enough, you got the wrong book. I'm just telling you, if you got an abuser. She says, I don't know what to do, but I have to do something different. That's why I came to you. And that's why God brings people to me, I told her, for the new approach. And frankly, the biblical approach, I believe. Now, before we talk about why you stay with this abusive person and why you should leave, let's focus on the last part of my definition of abuse. This is me talking to you and to this lady. Abuse is a pattern of narcissistic, disrespectful, and harmful behavior, and here's the key, exhibited by one person in an intimate relationship. That, of course, is your spouse. Your abuser is intentionally preventing any possibility of intimacy. Now, let's look again at this woman's story that I just shared and break it down to see how abusers crush intimacy. First, he hurts you more than anyone else does. Abuse does the greatest damage in what began as a romantic, loving relationship. When you love someone and consider him to be the most important person in your life, he can hurt you as no one else can. Because you desperately want your relationship to work, and you are the only one trying to make it work, you're vulnerable and wide open for hurt, and he'll hurt you over and over and over again. He'll get your hopes up and then just shaft you. He knows exactly how to make you hurt, and that's what he does. And he knows he's doing it, and you know what? He enjoys doing it. That's what abusers are like. It's not that he doesn't know. Oh yeah, he knows, and he enjoys torturing you. He's loving at times. Your abuser has his moments when he can be nice to you. Okay, sure. Especially when he wants something from you. He's having a good day, or he wants something specific from you, some favor. And when I say moments, I mean moments. He's not nice for long, is he? We find a description of real, true, genuine, God-inspired love in 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. This beautiful, moving Bible passage describes the kind of love every woman, in fact, every human wants and needs. The problem is your abuser exhibits behavior that is opposite of the qualities of love in this passage. Listen to this. I'm going to give the biblical quality of love and then what your abuser is like. 1 Corinthians 13 says, love is patient. Well, your abuser is impatient with you. Love is kind. He's mean to you. Love is not jealous. Well, he's jealous of your time and attention that's not devoted to him exclusively. Love does not brag and is not arrogant. He's prideful and incredibly arrogant. Love does not act unbecomingly. His behavior is unbecoming all the time. Love does not seek its own. He's always seeking his own interests. Love is not provoked. He's provoked very easily. Doesn't take much to get him upset. Love does not take into account a wrong suffered. The abuser takes into account every wrong he thinks he suffered, especially at your hands. Love does not rejoice in unrighteousness, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians. He enjoys making you suffer. Love rejoices with the truth. He wouldn't know the truth if it slapped him in the face. Love bears all things. He bears nothing. Everything upsets him. Love believes all things. He believes only in himself. Love hopes all things. He hopes only to get his needs met. Your needs don't even register. Love endures all things. He endures nothing. No tolerance. Love never fails. His love fails all the time. And of course, others love him. Very, very common. Typically, your abuser is smart enough not to show his narcissism, disrespect, and harmful behavior in public. It's important to him to look like an awesome person to others. He doesn't care what you think of him. He cares what others think of him big time. What others think about him is much more important. He's charming, he's charismatic, he's caring in social environments. Your church leaders, your church friends, your extended family, and your friends and neighbors all think he's the greatest guy in the world. Your own family might think that until you tell them the truth. He can be generous with his time, his energy, his money. He won't do squat for you, but he'll drop everything and run and help someone else. This is the building contractor who fixes everybody else's house and builds beautiful homes and won't fix the back door to your home and hasn't for 10 years. The world at large admires him. Behind closed doors in your home, he's a very different person. If he died today of a heart attack or a stroke, the church wouldn't be able to hold the people because he's so loved. When you're ready to begin telling others the truth about him, many will not believe you. They'll think you're lying, crazy, or both. You'll be the complaining one, the bad guy. They'll believe him and his lies and the image he has projected. That's why you choose your support team very carefully. And then he'll start to change, but then, again, I've mentioned this before, he starts to make changes. He'll say, yeah, I can do better here, especially when he senses you're really upset. Okay, he may just, but it's only a couple of days, it's a couple of weeks, and he goes right back to the old abusive guy. And then, of course, anything he does for you becomes part of his narrative. Well, I did this, and I did that, and I did the other. I went to counseling. I read that book. I tried this. I took her out on a date. Okay, who cares? You're not changing. But he has a laundry list of all the great things he's done for you. There is no real love and intimacy with an abuser. Zero. He loves himself, not you. He wants to get his needs met. He wants you to cook, clean, take care of the kids, and give him sex if you don't mind. He wants to stay in control, and he wants to look good to others. Most of the time, he's not thinking about divorce. This is working out great for him. But it's not because he loves you. It's because divorce is losing. Divorce is expensive. Divorce will make him look bad, and he doesn't want that. It's not only unhappiness, it's misery and abuse. I've worked with unhappy marriages my entire career. I still do. But you know what? This is much worse than that. Abuse is on a different level entirely. What you're going through is much, much worse than just an unhappy marriage. I've written other books for those in an unhappy marriage. I Don't Want a Divorce being one of them. This book is for a person, this Enough is Enough book is for a person who is living with a chronic, debilitating abuser. Abuse that is shredding you and your children to little pieces. Though not every trait I've covered may fit your abuser, I'll bet my profile is pretty close to what you're dealing with in your relationship. So have I convinced you that your man is an abuser, that you are experiencing abuse? If I have, good. If I haven't, keep listening to these podcasts. And I think you're going to get it. It's a hard and painful truth, but the sooner you believe it, the sooner you can start the process of getting away from your abuser. It's hard to admit, I'm being abused. Who wants to admit that? And once you admit it, then you have to do something about it, and Dr. Clarke can help you with that. Now, to buy Enough is Enough and check out all my resources for marriages in crisis, go to davideclarkephd.com and subscribe to this podcast. You can help us create an audience, bigger and bigger audience, so we can help people. And leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget about my brand new video series, Dr. David E. Clarke Teaches Counseling. If you're in the counseling field or know someone who is, this would be an ideal package. 35 years of experience packed into 13 videos. It'll make a difference. That's on the website as well. Now, on my next podcast, I'll talk about why you don't want to leave your abuser, the lies, the fears that get in the way of you leaving your abuser. Talk to you then.